So we're going to level up your Warhammer today because we're going to solve a big problem you have. And that problem is that you either don't know what trading is or you're trading incorrectly in this game. So we're going to clear up all concepts of what a good trade is, what a bad trade is, and I'm going to really define it for you so you really grasp it. And I'm going to use the TTS to actually show you guys what I mean and how you're going to do things better. So make sure you're watching on video today. You're not just listening on audio so that you can catch all of the freaking goodies I have planned for you. So here we go. The concept of trading is essentially when I have a certain amount of points for a unit, and I am going to put that unit out there expecting to lose said unit. So I'm going to lay out a scenario for you here. I'm going to be the Imperial Knights player. Got an armature right here. And my opponent is Blood Angels, and he's got a Gladiator Lancer, and he's got some Scouts that are holding this objective. What a typical person might consider a trade, this Imperial Knights player might say, hey, I'm going to move this Armiger Warglaive up to touch this objective, meaning I out-OC the Scouts. This will ensure that the Blood Angel player does not score primary. That's basic level of a trade. It's also an example of a probably relatively bad trade, typically. Now, what most people like to think is that they like to trade like points for like points. So let's say this Armiger came up, denied the primary, and charged in and killed all these Scouts. Well, now what you can pretty much guarantee is that this Lancer is going to move here. It's going to shoot you. And then this Lancer is going to move here. And it's also going to shoot the Warglaive. So you would be trading, in effect, a 140-point Warglaive for 70 points worth of Scouts. And a lot of people would think that that's a very bad trade. Then they wouldn't want to do it. They want to trade, 140 points for at least 140 points worth of value. Otherwise, you're losing out. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's actually a really bad way to think about trading, and I'm going to kind of clarify and fix your thinking today. So instead, let's lay out another scenario for you. And we're not going to think about this Warglaive going in, killing 70 points worth of Scouts, and then dying. Because if that was all that happened, I would agree that would be a very bad trade. Instead, though, that's really not what's going to happen here. Instead, this is what's going to happen. I, as the Imperial Knights player, am going to do a bunch of things. I'm going to move this Armiger Warglaive onto this objective. Now that I'm on this objective, the Scouts will not score the primary, meaning the Blood Angel is going to lose 5-point victory points on primary. So right off the bat, I am trading 140 points of my army for denying you 5 victory points, which is a relatively okay thing, but still expensive. You still don't really want to trade 140 points for 5 victory points. The general rule of thumb in this game is that 100 points of your army needs to be scoring or denying 4.2 victory points. So 140 points for 5 is like, it's right on the edge. You don't really want to make that trade, but that's not all you're actually doing. You also charge and kill the Scouts. So now we've denied and we've killed the Scouts. From a points perspective, 140 points killing a 70-point unit and denying our opponent 5 victory points, honestly, not the worst trade. But the trade's going to get a lot better. Now, we know that the Blood Angels player is about to kill this Warglaive. Like, you automatically know that. But what you might not realize is that the Blood Angels player can't expose just one Lancer to do it. And here's why. This Armiger Warglaive has a 5-up invulnerable save, meaning he's got a 1/3 chance of denying any damage that the Gladiator Lancer might be able to put into it. Meaning, if this Lancer wants to come and shoot this Warglaive, the chances of him getting both of his D6 plus 3 shots through is actually relatively low. And if our opponent fails to kill this Warglaive, well, then he's giving me, the Imperial Knights player, 5 victory points, and he's guaranteeing that this Lancer is going to die to the Warglaive in the next turn. So that would be a really, really bad thing for the Blood Angels player, because at that point, I'm not trading this Warglaive for denying 5 victory points and killing Scouts. Instead, I'm trading this Warglaive for denying 5 victory points, killing 70 points with the Scouts, scoring 5 victory points, and killing the Gladiator Lancer. So that would be an incredible trade on the Imperial Knights player, and it would be really, really bad for the Blood Angels player. So the Blood Angels player can't afford to let this Warglaive live, because he can't afford to give me 5 victory points when I've already denied him 5 victory points. So in order to actually reliably kill this Warglaive, he's going to have to put out 2 battle tanks. Or and maybe he's got one all the way over here, whatever. But he's going to have to put 2 of these out there. So 2 Lancers shooting in. 2 Lancers shooting in will almost always kill the Warglaive. So now he's actually relatively assured of it. But me as an Imperial Knights player, I am a very cunning and canny foe. So what I have done is I have decided that I'm not going to trade this Warglaive just for denying 5 victory points and killing 70 points with the scouts. I'm going to trade this Warglaive for denying 5 victory points, killing 70 points worth of scouts, and killing both of my opponent's Gladiator Lancers, which is probably the majority of his what do you call it? It's going to be the majority of his anti-tank as well. Because the way I've set this up as the Imperial Knights player is I have a Knight Castellan hanging out right here. I know without a shadow of a doubt that if my opponent wants to shoot the Armiger Warglaive, the only places he can shoot the Armiger Warglaive from, because of where the Gladiator Lancers are, is right here and right here. Because you can't shoot from here, which means that this Lancer's going to have to come here to draw line of sight. Since this Lancer's in the middle, he's going to have to come here to shoot. I guess he could conceivably, like, maybe roll in advance and use a stratagem to get an assault and shoot over here, but that would generally be pretty dumb, and it wouldn't really change anything. So we can pretty much conclusively know that the Blood Angel opponent, if he wants to kill the Warglaive, which he does, is going to have to come here, and he's going to have to come here to do so. Now, since I have my Knight Castellan here, I pretty much am assured I'm going to kill both of these Lancers in the next turn. Because now the Castellan's just going to move out right here, and he's going to use his Tower Ring to look right through this terrain. He's going to shoot this Lancer, and he's going to shoot this Lancer, and he's got such good firepower with innate Knights, Imperial Knights rerolls that it's pretty much guaranteed to kill both of these. Which means, in this scenario, I did not trade my Armiger Warglaive for denying 5 points and killing 70 points of scouts. Instead, what I did is I traded my Armiger Warglaive for denying 5 victory points to my opponent. I killed 70 points worth of their army, and I also killed 320 points of all their anti-tank. All for the cost of one Armiger Warglaive that costs 140 points. This, my friends, is a good trade. And this is exactly what I want you thinking about when you play Warhammer 40,000. You got to stop thinking about, well, I got to kill these scouts, but this unit's a 140-point unit. It's not a good trade to trade 140 points for 70 points with scouts. That is a bad way to look at this, because that's not, in all reality, what's actually happening. What's actually happening is you're denying points, you're killing, and then you're also killing the things that are exposing themselves to kill you, right? As long as you set it up intelligently, as long as you are actually aware that your opponent is going to strike you back hard, and you're prepared to counterstrike the counterstrike. If you do it like this, your trades will improve so much. My goodness, your results are going to skyrocket through the freaking roof, and you're going to have an absolute blast. Now, what I really, really want you to do is I want you to start applying this concept to your army in every single scenario that you happen to have. Now, I will tell a quick story here. Let me actually load in some models so I can kind of demo it for you. I was playing a match where this was before Eldar were nerfed, and I was playing against like the typical the scary like aspect host with Fuegan and 10 fire dragons and all that nonsense. And I believe I was playing it on GW1, so I'm just going to kind of load in GW1 so you guys can see this. And I'm going to ask you if you think this was a smart or a bad idea. So I don't really remember what the layout, what the deployment was. Let's call it Hammer. No, I actually think it was Search and Destroy now that I mention it. So I'll just load in some Hurt Search and Destroy. Here we go. So I was playing my Dark Angels, and I was playing against an Eldar player. Now, what happened in this matchup is turn 1, he had some Striking Scorpions right here, and I actually charged the Lion out to go kill the Striking Scorpions. Now, while I did that, I also had like a Combi Lieutenant here who was giving the Lion loan up. And my opponent thought I was really, really dumb. So what he did is he ended up moving out in a Wave Serpent, got out Fuegan and all the Fire Dragons, shot the Lion, knew he might have to bias the math a little bit, so he also brought out 2 units of Swooping Hawks because he had to get a few mortals in there just in case I made all of my invulns or all of my invulns against the Fire Dragons. And he also had a big unit of like Dark Reapers here ready to shoot in as well. Of course, I was loaned up, so that wasn't that big a deal. So when that happened, my opponent thought foolishly that I had charged the Lion in and traded my 15-point Primarch for his 70-point squad of Striking Scorpions. But that's not what happened. Instead, what actually happened is that he, yes, of course, did come in and murder the crap out of all of these Striking Scorpions. And then when he came out with Fuegan and all the Fire Dragons and the Swooping Hawks to drop mortals and stuff, What happened? He did kill the lion, but then I killed Fuegan and 10 fire dragons. I killed the wave serpent. They were inside. I killed 2 squads of striking scorpions. Basically, what happened is I didn't trade the lion for a 70-point squad. I traded the lion for like 500 points of his army and the parts of his army that otherwise I was not going to be able to deal with. So in that scenario, it was an incredible trade. Even though the lion only killed 70 points worth of striking scorpions, his death enabled me to get everything else. So stop thinking for your trading in terms of what you kill. You don't have to kill 350 points with the lion. Angron does not have to kill 345 points to be useful. You don't have to kill 140 points with a Warglaive Armiger in order to get a lot of value out of it. What you have to do is enable the trades, right? So if I can trade the lion out and he dies, but then I get to pick up 500 points of my opponent's army in return, that's generally speaking going to be a great trade. So keep this in mind, apply it to the army you're playing, and just start crumping better in Warhammer 40,000. If you guys like this content, please hit the like, smash the subscribe, and share it with all your friends, because I'm doing my best to elevate the level of Warhammer play for everyone out there, honestly, for free. But if you do want more help implementing your stuff in particular, feel free to contact me down below. The links for my coffee, where you can book coaching sessions, you can book a coaching membership, or even coaching matches against me, where I can really dissect all the errors in your play and help you improve as fast as possible. So with that, I'm going to take off, and I hope you guys all have an incredible freaking day. Crump on. Bye-bye.